Man, oh man, don't I have a treat for you today. This is going to be an absolute banger because it actually took me a long time to whip up this entire presentation. And in this video, I'm going to be teaching you how to get 100 leads a month on YouTube. And in this video, I'm going to cover literally everything that led to me generating the growth partner $115,000 in 115 days. I'm going to dive into all the proof. We have tons of stuff we're gonna cover, but this is basically going to touch on everything from how to hit your ICP so you can actually target them and turn your views into cash, titles, thumbnail structures, not only showing you them, but actually giving you templates that you can use, how to package your videos, how to come up with video ideas, how you don't have to edit your content, how you can structure your videos, script writing, retention tactics, literally everything you'd want to know for growing a business YouTube channel. And this is essentially like a mini course. So I'm just going to dive straight into it. I don't want to waste your time. Make sure to get your notebook and a pen because there's going to be a lot of sauce. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So as you can see here, the proof is in the pudding. Like, we were working on their personal channels, but we were also working on the business channel. The views are there. The cash is obviously there, which I'll dive into. So yeah, once again, I'm not here to BS around, but just had to make that clear. So why should you even watch this video? Because I'm sure you're not a bot and you realize how important content marketing is in this business realm. I mean, look at Hermosi. 78% of his customers are consuming 2 pieces of long form content before even buying from him. Iman literally made 10 mil off of 1 video. Sam Ovens back in the day said that YouTube organic would be the future of selling information courses. And there's tons of other people killing it. Charlie Morgan, Dan Martell, etc. I mean, even professional athletes that are in the NFL or NBA are starting to build their YouTube channels now to just further their business side of the job. I think short form content is still good, but long term, YouTube is 100% the play. I scaled the growth partner to over $115,000 in added direct revenue strictly through YouTube. So this was tracked through Hyros. I have the screenshots, I have the proof. It was in the first slide. These were our YouTube results. I think YouTube is not only the best, but the newest lead generation system. I think cold email, paid advertisements, those things, they obviously still work, but I believe YouTube is untapped. And if you can lock in, if you can tap in, especially it's now Q4 going into 2025, but it doesn't matter when you're watching this video, I think it's an evergreen opportunity and the videos are able to last longer than any other platform out there. And long form content videos nurture more than anything else out there. So it's 100% the best play long term. I mean, look at the stats, guys. I know you see the stats right here. So we did this amount of views, subscribers, but we made 115K. And that's the whole thing with it, right? And you could have less views, less subscribers, and still make more money than we did. But this isn't my only time scaling a YouTube channel though. I just helped a 7-figure entrepreneur, Giulia Guerrieri, add 150K in 10 months. When that revenue really came in the last 4 to 5 months, but we've been working with her for 10 months with the same exact system. And I'm literally giving everything away in this video. Like, I'm not gatekeeping at all, so you guys don't have to worry about that. I helped Jacob Levinrad make $26,000 in 2 months on YouTube. Help my boy Marcos, a 7-figure agency owner, close one $25,000 deal off of posting simple YouTube videos. I've also worked with household names like Alex Sedlak, Champ, and many other 7- and 8-figure entrepreneurs. Prior to helping businesses scale with YouTube, I worked with people like FaZe Rug, Broadis, Energy, Esports, Neon, when it came to video editing and a little bit of social media stuff. So let me map out how this is actually going to work. The whole thing is you want to create a YouTube system that works. So a system that's not only going to get you leads, but actually help you get influence and become a niche authority. I mean, this is what you guys are looking at is exactly the process that we take our clients through. Once again, I'm not gatekeeping this video. So if you really lock in, if you tap in, you will be able to actually take insights and go apply it, or you can just come work with us. Everyone thinks you can just like take inspiration from bigger channels out there, copy their titles, copy their thumbnails, ideas, and it's just gonna work. But that's cap. There's obviously nuance to it. If it was that easy though, everyone would be good at YouTube. So I'm gonna be kind of telling you how you should approach things and really the best way and what worked for us on this channel and the other channels that I'm building right now. This will work for you if you have a marketing agency, you're a consultant, B2B business, or any business that sells to clients. If you need leads, YouTube is the play. And by the time you finish this video, you will know how to create a one-of-one personal brand on YouTube, creating videos you're actually passionate about, in order to build a cult-like fan base. Because I think that's the whole thing of YouTube. You can actually nurture people so well that they will be behind your back no matter what. You might not be able to implement it as fast as we did or succeed as fast as we did, but I promise you, if you do the process, like I said, if you do it correctly for a long amount of time, step by step, you will get results. Like, I promise, you will get results. I mean, I'm booking calls on my last video had 200 views. So that just goes to show. I'm about to actually start trying on my YouTube now, but that's once again, it goes to show you. Views don't matter. I'll tap into the strategy stuff and really show you guys what is working and how you guys can win on YouTube as a business. Once again, so I am going to be revealing the entire system in this video. Before we get into it though, I want to say that content creation is an art, and if you can execute and do that right, the money comes with it. And the tough reality behind this is that tons of people like you will watch this video or read this document, but few are going to take action. I mean, that's just the truth. And thing is that someone that probably has lower IQ than you is going to watch this video, see the potential in scaling their business with YouTube, this guy right here. And you, who is a quote-unquote expert, you think this YouTube stuff requires hella knowledge, tactics, gimmicks, etc., but it's actually far from the truth. All it takes is using the system and making good videos. This guy that's zero IQ is going to end up becoming the Chad, because over time, he's just going to realize all he needs is a good system, which I'm going to give you in this video, and all he has to do is make good videos, which can generally be simple. And honestly, the world belongs to people that take action. So this low IQ guy right here is going to eventually become a Chad, and you'll be stuck thinking that YouTube is hard, it needs gimmicks, tactics, stamina strategy, blah, blah, blah. But it could be making your business millions of dollars. So you're going to be wishing you were like this guy, but his business is going to be 10x, his money's going to be 10x, and his brand and influence are going to be 10x. If you just follow the system and made good videos, you'd be in this position. So you can make the choice to be a Chad, or you could, I don't know. You can be the guy in the middle that says YouTube requires hella stuff. It's totally up to you, but let's get straight into it. So the YouTube money is made in understanding your audience and competitors. Like, look at SpongeBob. People are begging on YouTube to watch the correct content, but you're not gonna win unless you put your videos in front of the people you want to sell to. And this is the first part of the system. I like to call this like the foundation to a house, and it makes everything else easier in this process. Like, I promise you, this truly is the foundation, and it's exactly how we were able to get our ideal customer to start watching our videos and actually start buying from us. And also on top of this, the way that I like to do it is I like to incorporate, once again, passion, because I think passion bleeds through the content. So using this system, you're going to be able to actually attach your passion to the ideas that you come up with and how you target your ICP, so that when you're creating videos, they're actually entertaining and engaging, and your audience is going to be able to binge watch your content. This is directly tied to how you would develop content ideas, which I'll dive into more a little bit later, that can actually turn content into cash though. And it's called the Avatar Workshop. So as you can see, we got the Pepe at the bottom. He has the magnifying glass. Like, we're trying to see who should we be targeting. So here's how you do that. So it takes a bit of time, but this client avatar process is super, super useful, and it's going to make, once again, everything 10 times easier. First, get a list of the top 10 competitors in your niche on YouTube. Just search up your niche on YouTube, open a Google Doc, note them down, the links of their channels. Try to find quickly growing channels in your niche. On top of that, go to the most popular tab and take a screenshot, or just note down their top 8 to 12 most popular videos. And this allows you to look for patterns between topics of their best performing videos. And once again, this is going to be super important. So make sure you go into a Google Doc or write it down right now. I'm giving you the sauce. So just lock in. On that same Google Doc, just go down a little bit. And what you want to do is identify the demographics and psychographics of your ICP. The main important part is the psychographics though. The demographics, it could be iffy depending on your offer, but I would still break it down. So tap into the age, sex, location, income, and employment. And then the psychographics, I like to dive into pains, desires, fears, and motivators. You can even use ChatGPT to dive deep into these insights for your exact niche. I mean, I literally do this for our clients. So you can go into ChatGPT and you can go break down the pains and desires of an 18 to 25-year-old in e-commerce. And it would spit out a lot of good stuff that you can, once again, use. And I'm gonna teach you how you can actually use it though. Another thing that you want to do in the second step before we get to the next one is ask yourself where else your ICP actually spends time online. Go and grab those insights. I mean, they're literally telling you what they want to see. So tap into the insights, tap into the pain points, get the desires wherever your ICP is at most. So it could be Twitter, it could be LinkedIn, it could be TikTok, Discord. Maybe you have a Slack channel of where you already keep your clients. Like if you're selling something, your clients and students are already giving you insights. They give you insights daily. You just have to tap into them and actually see what your ICP wants. And now this is where we throw in a little bit of inversion thinking. And this is what Charlie Munger used to preach a lot. So rest in peace to legend Charlie Munger. But what you want to do is reverse engineer these insights from your ICP into video ideas. So now that we've broken down those pains, desires, motivations, and fears, you want to turn those into video ideas. Typically, you can use the fears and pains for video ideas and use the desires and motivators as stories and examples in your videos. But I typically just break down everything and turn them into video ideas because it brings up new ideas in my head. And I just start like writing down stuff like that. So, and this is like the first step of them getting to watch and actually turn into a sale. And once we apply things later on, like the YouTube system, as far as like title structures, thumbnail strategy, how to deliver on camera, quote unquote scripting stuff. Like once you tie it all together, it's going to be easy to generate 115K like the growth partner did, right? So inversion thinking is basically a mental model that involves approaching a problem or decision from the opposite perspective. Like it just makes it easier to think. And it can help you identify potential problems and pitfalls and find ways to avoid them. So example, a pain of people in e-commerce is finding winning products. So a content idea could be the new way to find profitable e-commerce products in year. The year will be 2024, 2025, etc. whenever you're watching this. Or a lot of people lack experience in e-commerce, so you could do 13 years of e-com experience in blank amount of minutes. And I'm going to get into proven title structures later. Not only going to show you, but I'm literally going to give you templates that we even use with our clients. So you're welcome. You're welcome. Those are only a couple examples, but trust me, I'm going to show you how to expand on all of these. And by the end of this whole process, you can genuinely, like no BS, you can have 100 video ideas, like valid video ideas that you can record and things that you can be truly passionate about and actually select. So I'm huge on this thing of like everyone is making the same type of content, and I'm sure you don't want to do that. Like it's boring. It's lame. So the whole thing I'm huge on is making content your niche wants, but no one else is making. And this comes down to supplying the demand in the current market, but also positioning yourself different from everybody else. I like to call it having a blue ocean niche, right? So after discovering the top competitors in your niche, what you want to do now is identify what the niche actually wants. So you can kind of tell this from looking at titles and thumbnails, but not really. So what you have to do is actually go and watch your competitors' videos so that you can find a gap. Review their thumbnails and titles. Obviously, I think that's still super, super huge. But identify what they're doing right that you can replicate, but in your own way. Also identify what they're not doing and what you can implement into your content so you can get an edge. And think about things and obviously note this down is like, hey, what are the things I wish creators or business owners in my niche talked about or did? Like maybe they're not doing certain video styles or talking about or being transparent about certain things. Like how can you get an edge there, right? And identify the things that your popular competitors are doing wrong that you can do right in your content. Because a lot of people think you can just remake your competitors' videos from what has done well before and it would just pop off. But it's just cap. Like, it's not going to stand out. You're never going to have an edge. You're never going to be one of one in your niche. You're just going to be a copycat clone. I think it's still effective. Like, there's nuance to it. You can copy, but I'll kind of show you how I do it. It's just not ideal to copy word for word, bar for bar. Like, you stole their whole flow type thing, right? But I'll show you the best way to do it to make sure it actually stands out. Because this is the whole goal here. You want to be where there's a lot of fish with very few sharks. Create that blue ocean niche. And that's the whole goal. You don't want, like, it's fine to have competition, and competition lasts in business. It's a competitive game, but you want to just stand out. You want to be different. Like, nobody's going to sit down and compare LeBron to, like, some ninth guy in the bench on the NBA, right? There's levels. It's a difference, and that's because they stand out. So that's what you're trying to do with your content. So once again, go watch those most popular videos because that's what your niche wants to see. And then in your own eyes, discover what is missing or what different perspective could you bring to that content idea that would make it unique and something your ICP actually wants to watch, not only because of the context, but because of you as well, which is why tap into your passion. Now, this is where we start really getting into a little bit of the sauce, man. Next thing is tying everything together with proven title structures. So the goal is still to be as unique as possible, go outside the box, try new things, etc. But you're honestly dumb if you don't play off of proven title and thumbnail structures while including your own insights and your own little spin. So after you have the insights on your audience pains, desires, motivators, fears, and you've discovered how you're going to find the blue ocean niche, now you just have to, once again, reverse engineer all those things. And now you just have to tie that in with proven structures. And here's how you're going to do it. So using those same channels you identified, the top like 10 channels in your niche, you can open another Google Doc. So what you want to do is copy the link for the like top 2 to 3 videos for each channel and put them on the Google Doc. And you're going to start noticing like the title structures that they're using. And I'll dive into this more. But even after you click on those top 2 to 3 videos, you can actually scroll down suggested on YouTube and it'll show you more proven outlier concepts because they're suggesting videos on an outlier video. And if you have vidIQ to spot outliers, you can also add these links to your list. And then what you want to do is after you've captured all of this, you can literally just like break down the structures for each title. So for example, if we're using the e-commerce niche, I just searched up e-commerce, like that's all I did. This was the first video that popped up. How to build an e-commerce business in 2024 from 0 to 1 mil. So the title structure of this video is how to build business model or business in year from 0 to 1 mil. So you can do this exact video for 2025. Once again, you can tie in the whole goal with it is to tie in your own insights and play off a thumbnail, but do it in your own unique way. You can find this thumbnail, you think it's nice, but you can then go find another one and you can like kind of mix them together. I'll touch on like how I do thumbnails too. But let's say we're using this title structure here. So let's say you're doing dropshipping. You could do how to build a dropshipping business in 2025 from 0 to 1 mil. You wouldn't carbon copy his, but I'm going to touch on how you can actually make yours unique while still keeping it very proven to work. And I mean, the title structure stuff, I've done it a ton. I mean, this is a Simon Scope video that popped off. I did it for Forex trading niche, 5 years of Forex trading knowledge in 23 minutes. Different thumbnail, but still the same concept title. And then same thing, we just did it here. 77 Instagram growth tips in 48 minutes. The thumbnail is kind of similar, goes left to right, simple. Like both these, all 3 of these videos here are outliers, but this was the main outlier and we just did it in our own way. And our clients are generating sales. Giulia, 150K. Steph is closing hella course sales through his stuff. So, hey, it works. So I did tell you I was not only going to show you, but I was actually going to give you proven title structures. So if you need some proven title structures, here's a list I compiled and you can screenshot it. I'll probably make a whole nother video on video ideas and titles and things of that nature. But you can go ahead and screenshot this. Tons of stuff that are just proven to work and you can just apply your insights. So yeah, enjoy the freebie. And I'm not charging anything for it or collecting your emails. So yeah. And before we get into the next part of this video, I just want to get you guys more ideation tactics because there's so many ways you can get ideas. And a lot of people really struggle with ideas. But to me, it's very, very simple, especially for our clients. So on top of everything I listed above, here are other ways you can ideate. So first is like tapping into misconceptions, common mistakes, FAQs, controversy, or just viral pieces of advice in your business niche space. And once again, you can use AI to tap into this. So don't be afraid to use ChatGPT. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. Audience feedback. So comments on your videos, comments on your other social medias. If you see like a reoccurring comment, like tap into that. Because if you see something over and over, it is highly likely that other people are feeling the same way about that specific thing. And you can probably go make a video on it. Another thing is directly asking your audience for what they want to see. So you can do this through polls on YouTube, Twitter, just like getting direct feedback from your ICP. Once again, if you have a Slack or a Discord, you can literally ask them in there, hey, what are you guys struggling with? Or I wouldn't really ask what videos do you guys want to watch, but you could ask them like, hey, what kind of content would you guys want to see? But I would ask, what are you struggling with? Because off of the pains, you can create content. And then another thing that is really, this is really a gem, is keeping a swipe file of performing content. And I have an example here of how we did this with a client. But dive into popular accounts of your friends, your competition, your inspirations when it comes to content, and just use it for future reference. Like sometimes I'm just scrolling on YouTube, I see something I like and I add it to the swipe file. And this helps you just document their popular videos and content from popular pages and just see how you can spin it off in your own niche and ideal audience. So here I saw this Nathan Nazar's video, and we actually edited a video for him before, but I saw this video on my homepage and I was like, this thumbnail is crazy. I see it's an outlier because I have vidIQ, which vidIQ is not that important, but I'll tap into how you can leverage it a little bit. It all comes back to making good videos and using the system, but let me not go on a tangent. But I saw this thumbnail, it was sick, and I was like, okay, we can do this for our trading client because he has a sick Porsche. I was like, it's gonna make sense. So he did how I made 100K in 8 days with Shopify dropshipping. I made my first 100K with this forex trading strategy. Similar concept. We made our text bigger so it's easier to read. His car is just insanely sick, but yeah, it's just stuff like that. Like, that's how you can get ideas and just be unique, because this hasn't been done in the trading space, and they might have not seen this because it only has 157. If you think about the TAM of the trading niche and the dropshipping, like the crossover is not happening to where a lot of people will see that. So this is a unique video, and I'm going to touch on TAM a little bit as well. And this is the last thing when it comes to like content ideas or ideation. So I'm going to dive into that right now. So you want to make content easy for yourself. Once again, you want to be passionate about the videos that you're recording so you can build that call-like audience. So another way to further your content ideation or just like helping your content overall is understanding what your story, even like noting this down, is understanding like your story, your message in your content, and the goal with your content. Because honestly, personal brand is just consistently saying the same message or story over and over again. I mean, if you look at Luke Belmar, Iman, like all the top guys, they literally repeat the same message but in a different way in all their content. So you can even like list out things that like your 3 highest and lowest moments in life that you want to be sharing in your content, because it starts to resonate over and over. And like a lot of people are surface level with this content stuff. Once again, it is an art. And I'm even realizing now, like I need to treat it, my own personal channel, seriously if I want to see it succeed, and you need to do the same. So really breaking down like, hey, this happened in my life. This is what I want to share on my channel. I want to throw this into the content. Like, what is my brand story? Like, how was my come up, etc., etc. What's the goal with the content? What do I want to do? Tapping into that really helps you. Next, these are just all things that will help make content easier for you. Next is really doubling down on what works. You can see we had this video that is nearly at 8K views. The thumbnail structure was really, really effective. I wasn't worried about the title. Maybe the title played a part, but we basically did the same thumbnail structure, but in a different way. Like, you guys can see the resemblance, right? Those are things you have to think about and just execute. Like, this is unique, but it played off of something that worked. Next is protecting your brand to focus on how over how-to content. So literal language choices like that help you stop imposter syndrome, because a lot of people may make content and they feel like weird when they do it. It keeps you legit, and it once again makes everything passionate. Like, you can just record videos without feeling weird, right? You don't want to do that. And here's proof of us using how I with our clients. I met 3 millionaire traders. Everything I do to close this agency blueprint scaled me. Like, play off of what you've done. If you haven't done it, don't talk about it, because people are going to think you're capping. Just make sure you have a result, because the sophistication in the market in businesses content is just going up. It's consistently going up. So just, if you're talking about something, make sure you did it. So still like an artist, and then for your content, think of who you want to target, and then model everything else around that. So the ideas, and what they want to avoid, their goals, etc. Third is you can literally document your mistakes in your niche and make videos on it. People love to learn from stuff like that. I mean, I can speak for myself. Like, when people make videos about hiring or how they run their business, how they scaled, like tactics, breaking down, hey, these were my mistakes I learned from running my first agency. People love to learn that, and it actually makes them more prone to buy from you because you have an authority level of status, and that's the whole point with brand. And I'm giving you guys a sauce on how you guys can take advantage of it to actually see success. A quick note is, don't focus only on your views. You can have 200 views on a video, but they're all qualified buyers. It's still amazing to like want to get tons of views, but I wouldn't get too caught up on the views. Like I said, I booked a call from my last interview that had 200 views. Our clients don't have the craziest amount of views. Giulia, she had 60K views in 10 months. So that's an average of 6K views a month. That's not insane for YouTube. And especially if you have a lower TAM, which I'll touch on later in the video, views definitely shouldn't be a focus. The focus should be cash. Cash in the bank. That's what we need. So next is jumping on trends right before everyone else does. Or like if you see someone unexpectedly jump on a trend, it may be a good sign to do so. Like for example, the raw reality type content, a lot of those are popping off. It was a little trend, I guess. Same with like the PVO Daniel Dalen type videos, I guess is a little trend right now. I wouldn't get caught up in trends and gimmicks. You can tap into them and like ride the wave for a little bit, but I wouldn't try to make it like a part of your brand. Because I think it's lame. I think it's corny. You want to become a one of one and kind of do your own thing. So that's kind of thing there. But there's certain trends, like it doesn't have to be a trend like a content style. It can be like AI. Like ChatGPT was a trend one time. It was generally a trend to make videos and have ChatGPT in the title. Like things like that, like where you can tap into something that's happening in the world and just ride the wave. So last but not least, be very authentic, show what you're doing, and don't always rely on gimmicks. This will help your brand. This will help you, like people will rock with you more because you're like this. So be your authentic self and just make videos you would want to watch, honestly. That's how we'll go with this whole thing. Make videos that you yourself would want to watch. So now we're getting deeper into the fun stuff. And the whole thing is like, without the right content funnel, your channel actually won't grow. And it won't reach the stage that I like to call the flywheel system. And I'm going to be diving into that content funnel right here. But essentially, once your infrastructure is built, which is what we just covered all above, the whole goal is to create a flywheel so you can scale your channel. And just creating content that your prospect love at a mass rate, connecting with them at scale. And the goal is just to convert people for life. Like your leads can be coming in. Let's say you start your YouTube journey, you're doing like 4 uploads a month. Then 1 month, you can only do 1 upload. The thing is that once you've created the flywheel, YouTube is the only platform that is evergreen. So you're going to have leads coming in over and over. So I'm going to teach you how you can do that a little bit in this section. So let's dive into it. So top of funnel content, middle of funnel content, and bottom of funnel content. You want to be creating all 3. So top of funnel, these are examples right here. For Jordan, these are broad videos. Middle of funnel is where you want to tie back to your expertise. Top of funnel is just more broad content with a larger TAM, and I'll touch on the TAM part. But essentially, for you, this is just probably broad business advice, motivation, things of that nature. Middle of funnel, tie it back to your expertise. So this could be like, as their business is running the growth partner model, right? So running the growth partner model, some people need to run Facebook ads. They need to learn how to do lead gen. They need to know how to do cold email. In these 2 videos right here, these 2 videos are not directly talking about the growth partner model. So I wouldn't say they're bottom of a funnel. They're talking about something that's adjacent, which is the SMA model, which is kind of like the rival or how we positioned our content to kind of like punch on and bully SMA owners, which I think was a great angle. And this is more middle funnel. He kind of like explains the expertise of like what a growth partner is, but he doesn't go too into detail. Then bottom of a funnel is case studies and your deepest insights. So we have case study upload here. And then this how to make 197K with 11 agency clients. In this video, he really goes into what actually is the growth partner model, what you do, etc. Same with these videos. This video is breaking down their sales process that they use to close clients as a growth partner. So things that are just super, super niche. And you need all 3 if you want a solid brand. The majority of your focus when starting would be middle and bottom of funnel. But yeah, I think eventually everyone needs all 3. So I told you I was going to touch on TAM. So it's important to know this when you're mixing your top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel content. Because what you want to do is you want to recognize the maximum target audience you can reach with certain content ideas, whether it's broad or niche. Like I said, it just really depends on how you title your video. Like if you leave out certain terms in your title or thumbnail, you have a chance of getting pushed up the bar. As you can see here, this is a picture from VidSummit, and essentially arts and entertainment, and then goes video games, and then you go into first-person shooter video games, then you go to Call of Duty, then you go to Call of Duty Zombies, and then you go to Easter egg tutorial inside of Call of Duty Zombies. So apply the same thing. If you're gonna go like this is super niche specific, even though it still has a good amount of views, but showing you our sales process to close 100K deals. Like, how many people are going to watch a video? Like, how many people does that relate to? It's super bottom of funnel. It's niche specific. Even though it has a good amount of views, the middle of funnel stuff, the new way to run Facebook ads in 2024. So it's eliminating people by saying Facebook ads. So that lowers the TAM. It's still more broad though than showing your sales process or showing a specific thing in like the ad optimizer, right? And then when it comes to top of funnel stuff, it's like how to unF your routine to make your first 100K. This is extremely broad. Everyone knows what a routine is. Or a My Story video, just explaining your story. Having a mastermind in business is more broad, has a larger TAM than talking about your sales process. Doesn't mean it's going to get more views, it's just understanding the TAM. And then I wish I knew this before becoming a millionaire. The term millionaire has more TAM, once again, than sales process, growth partner, closing deals. So, yeah, just understand that, and I want you guys to just know how it works so you can keep that in mind when you are doing your mixing the funnel of your content. And the thing is, no one can watch your video if they don't click on it. We're going to dive into video packaging, so title and thumbnails. This is actually like tactical stuff that you need for growth, so lock in. This is literally the differentiator between a video being successful and a video flopping, if I'm being honest. So titles and thumbnails, they work hand in hand. This is why Mr. Beast is literally spending 10 bands for each thumbnail design and creating up to like 20 different concepts for variations. And we do something similar at Content Cash Media, but the whole way this process works is titles and thumbnails work hand in hand. I'm going to touch on thumbnails first, then titles, and then how to even frame your overall video concept, which is, people don't talk about that type of stuff, but I'm going to show you why everything is important and how it all ties together. For this client, we handled the packaging for every single video, working alongside our design team with great framing and packaging, and obviously resulted in high CTR, more views. After realizing how important this is, like it's probably one of my favorite parts of the content process because, like I said, it's different between a W and an L. So you need to lock in on your thumbnails. I'm going to show you guys how you guys can do that. I want to touch back on this topic of outliers and quote unquote playing off of outliers, because a lot of people do this wrong and it hurts them. So typically, people think playing off of outliers or proving concepts is a YouTube strategy, but it's far from the truth. Because with YouTube, so much goes on. If it was that easy, everyone would just copy and win. So you can't expect your video to do well just because you copied something that worked in the past. Before you deem something as an outlier, ask yourself, did that video do well because of the creator who made the video? Because a lot of people will like see a quote unquote outlier from Iman and just copy it. But the thing is that Iman has already built his audience and they'll click on his stuff no matter what. Like, he has a recognizable face. It doesn't have to be Iman. It could be anyone with a recognizable face. Alex Hermosi in the business niche, for example. So, like, be very mindful of that. Did your outlier have any sort of competitive edge? Like, were they already, like, let's say, $100 million founder, or were they funded with a lot of money to start their business? Like, do they have a competitive edge that you can't match? Like, if you can match it, of course you can go create the video, but do they have something like out of the realm that you can't match? Third is sophistication. So sophistication happens in everything. Essentially, if it was an outlier back then, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be an outlier now. It could be, but it's just like comparing like Facebook ads in 2013 to Facebook ads now. Like, over time, people get better and smarter. So if you're making a video that did good a year ago, but those tactics a year ago don't work, or people already know them, like, your video's not going to pop off. No one's going to click on it. So be very mindful of the sophistication and always think like, hey, how can I further develop this idea or create a better angle so it can be seen as new? So yeah. Next is, what was the TAM on their video compared to mine? So this is where total addressable market comes back in. Like, was their video an outlier because, I mean, obviously if it's an outlier because it did good, but why did it do good? So did they have more TAM? Were they able to reach more people? Compared to yours might be more niche, which them having more TAM and and you playing off of their video to make it more niche specific doesn't mean it can't be an outlier. It's just something to ask yourself, like really just make sure it's an outlier. And I've been doing this a ton. Like when I see a video, I'm like, okay, how much subscribers do they have? How much views does the video have? Like the main thing, if you really want to see a huge outlier, is their view ratio on the video should be 10x their subscriber count. So if someone has 100 subscribers and their video has 1,000 views, that's a huge outlier for them. So look for that 10x in views over the subscriber count. If you can really find those, then you'll know you're cooking. And then the last two is like, does your concept have the same curiosity gap as the outlier, and is your thumbnail as effective? Once again, doesn't mean that you can't copy. You should have to do it correctly. Just questions that you should ask yourself. So I recommend using vidIQ to spot outliers because it's free and I mean it works. But yeah, that's just my recommendation. And if you didn't know, an outlier is just basically something that is standing out in performance compared to your past videos in a similar time frame. So that's really is. Higher the outlier score, the better the video. And I mean, Mr. Beast even plays off of outliers. So if you're not, I don't know what to tell you. Now we can actually finally teach you how to make a good thumbnail. So thumbnails are what the viewers see first and then they read the title. So how I like to think about it is thumbnails catch attention and the title gets the click. It's the easy way to think about it. I'm going to once again touch on the thumbnail first and get to the titles. But your thumbnail should trigger curiosity in the viewer's brain. And then once they see that, they're like, oh shoot, what's this video about? Your title should then make them confirm to click to watch your video. So you want to make sure they're hand in hand. There's also a lot of misconception when it comes to like click-through rate, analytics. So I'll break that down to how you can actually read your click-through rate and be able to tell like what's going good, what isn't. But thumbnails are similar to the concept of like coming up with good ideas, like seeing what's already working and seeing how to play off of that, or even like mixing multiple things together to create something unique is something I love to do. Once again, it is, and I want to reiterate this over and over. It's not that simple as just copying what's working and just like expecting it to do well. Because 99% of the time, it's not going to perform and you're just going to look like a copycat. It's the same with video ideas. If it was that easy, everyone would be good at YouTube. So yeah, there's just proof that we actually got high CTR for them. These are videos that we did right here. Before we get into the really, really good stuff though, the main principle that you need to understand is thumbnails are 80-20. 80% theory, 20% design. So when you're thinking about, oh, I need this crazy designer, you could need a really good designer, but your strategy as far as like, hey, I want my thumbnail to look like this, I want my thumbnail to play off this thumbnail, but also this thumbnail, and I want it to be executed like so. So that's something to keep in mind. The places that I like to look for thumbnail inspiration are the top competitors in my client's niche or my niche. Scrolling through the YouTube homepage at times gives excellent insights. There's platforms like Creator Hooks Pro and Spotter. I'm not sponsored or anything, but I use them, or I have used them, and they're effective. Oh, another one that I actually don't have here is YouTube search. Like I'll just search up the video that I'm trying to make or the video that we've agreed on with my client, and I'll just scroll down. Like YouTube search is amazing, and if you have vidIQ, you can spot outliers. And then last is like popular entertainment creators on YouTube. Sometimes you can see a thumbnail that's not necessarily a business video, but you're like, I can make this in a business style. So you just go adopt it, do your thing, shake it up a bit, and now it's brand new. It's a unique concept, right? So with thumbnails, and this is what we do at Content Cash Media, you want to be making 2 to 3 looks for each video. For this client, we had minimum 3 thumbnails and titles ready to test for each upload. Anything over that, in my opinion, can be a bit excessive, but it doesn't hurt to experiment if you want to. But I think 3 is like the max, and you should be good. And I guess I'd be kind of weird if I didn't show you guys like actual thumbnails I've packaged and how I use this, like the process that I'm literally telling you to do. So I got some examples for you guys. So this video we did for HK, I just mixed these 2 thumbnails together. I saw this video right here and I was like, this title is sick. The thumbnail's also solid, but it was like, it could have been better. So I also remember like seeing a Daniel video and I knew this text would match with the title. Vid ended up doing good for our client. He was happy. He actually ended up getting hella leads in his DMs off this video because it was a raw 26-minute video. Once again, passionate, nurturing content. That's what we do. The next one's actually a case study for the growth partner. This one came off of Creator Hooks Pro. So this was inspiration off that platform. I think it's like $20, $25 a month or something. well worth it if you know how to execute and use it. Plus all the other stuff I told you. So this one came from film booth inspiration. Giulia video came from Giulia video came from YouTube search. Once again, using the YouTube search. But look what I did. So his was way too crowded. Like, I think this could have done better. It's still an outlier, but I think it could have done better if you just made it simple like this. And yeah, so we just made it simpler. This is way easier at the glance of the eye than this. Has a lot going on. Simon Squid inspiration did it for the Forex niche, and then this was YouTube search as well. We just made it better and catered to his, and added more color. We realized color really pops compared to like it being blank. But yeah, those are some examples. Those quite recent as well, majority of them. So yeah, and the thumbnail of your video is like a hook. Like it's the bait. You're trying to bait the viewer to just click on your video, because once you get in the click, you got them. You essentially got them. So I'm gonna give you guys some tactics for successful thumbnails. Just gonna run through it real quick, but less is more. Increase your color and exposure. You want your stuff to be bright. When I say less is more, stop overcrowding your thumbnails, please. Keep it simple. If you look at these, once again, I just showed you guys. This is simple. Create contrast with your colors. The designer that you're working with should know this. If you're doing the thumbnails yourself, it's very easy. You can even Google like what color contrasts with blank color. And just apply that to your thumbnail. So typically use 3 elements or less in your thumbnails. This is what Mr. Beast does. It comes back to just applying less is more. So it's just doubling down on that. Another thing I learned for the business niche, specifically or education, is like, don't be fancy with your thumbnails. Be effective with your thumbnails. So once again, don't overcrowd, too many colors, blah, blah, blah. Keep it simple, effective, and clickable. That's all that matters. If they click, you win. You capture you capture them with the bait. So make the thumbnail ask the question of viewers so you can get the click. That's really what I love to do. Like, every time I finish packaging something and my team finishes designing, I'm like, okay, what question comes into mind when I'm looking at this? Or what would I think when I'm looking at this? And then that's how you can position your title, which I'll touch on. I have the title sauce coming up here soon. Once again, YouTube thumbnails are 80% strategy, 20% design. And then understand what will grab your viewers' attention visually, but also will create intrigue. So in the business niche, like, I know a lot of people use Stripe for their payments. So if I'm using a thumbnail related where we're talking about like money, I'll just throw in a Stripe logo, because like that's what people are used to seeing. So they'll be like, oh, this guy's like in a similar department of business than me. So use things that can be relatable in your niche. It doesn't have to be a Stripe logo. It could be anything. I don't know exactly what niche you're in, but yeah, tie in things that are relatable and then try to grab that attention visually. Now we are on to the title. So the main thing is making sure your title and thumbnail go hand in hand, or else, like I said, you won't get the click. So do not repeat words in the title if they're in the thumbnail, if possible. Once again, this is nuance. You can do it. It really depends, but aim not to do it, because like I said, you want to make sure the thumbnail asks you a question, and then the title is like, hey, confirm that click. I guess, quote unquote, answer that question for me, right? But they have to click on the whole video to do that. So, and on top of what I said, like, in the back of your mind, really ask yourself, like, if I saw this thumbnail, what title would make me even more curious to click on it? Or what title would make me click on it? Like, I think that's super important. So what I like to do for the titles is generate 3 to 5 title ideas per video. Once again, you can draw inspiration from many places, just like I did above and showed you guys. Aim for less than 50 characters if possible. And you can use the paid sites, which is Spotter and Creator Hooks Pro if you want to, but it's not necessarily needed. All right, so how does YouTube CTR work? And I guess this is also how you can read your average view duration and really like gauge how good your video is doing. So I'll touch on that too. I'll give you that sauce too. But essentially, YouTube is broken up into traffic sources. So the main ones you need to be focused on is search, suggested, and browse. And browse is basically the homepage. But each traffic source has its own click-through rate. And if the CTR is poor in one traffic source, it will stop pushing the video to that location. However, if the CTR is low in search but high in browse, it can keep pushing that video in browse. So the main thing you need to do is design your thumbnails to work in the traffic source you desire views in, which for majority of people watching this video, it's really just browse and search. The homepage where the fast views are, which is like the most competitive part, it's more competitive than search, obviously. It requires more strategy and design skills to win big, but if you can crack a high CTR on browse, like the chance of your video doing good is higher. So, and it probably perform well on the other facets as well. So one thing I want to get out the way is that there is no perfect click-through rate KPI, because when impressions on a good video goes up, obviously the CTR will go down, or sometimes like it's just your CTR is tanking in a specific area. Like specifically for us, it's mainly like suggested videos are just tanking sometimes. So what you want to do is use the see more tab in YouTube, go to advanced, and mainly just focus on making good content and having good packaging, good videos, and using the system that I'm breaking down in this video, and the rest will fall in place. So if you want to check it, like I said, you can go to the see more tab in YouTube, go to advanced and check this out. But my main thing is focusing on views over click-through rate. I'm not gonna lie, I check the CTR this way a lot, especially when our videos are like, if the CTR is average or it's below average, I always check it out. But sometimes the video just needs time to grow. Like we had a video for Giulia, the CTR was like average. I just brought on a content strategist, so I was asking him. Typically, I'm the one making all the decisions. I asked him, I was like, hey, should we switch the title on this or the thumbnail on this? And he was just like, hey, let's just give it a little bit of time. We gave it time. It went up. Once it went up, it was like after a good amount of hours, then we switched the thumbnail. Then we switched the title, and then it went up even more. So sometimes just giving it time works. Mainly focus on browse, search, and suggested. Suggested is the hardest. So if your CTA is solid there, you're cooking. I'm not gonna lie, because that's the hardest place. Like even if I look on this, I haven't even looked on this graphic because it's been a while, but suggested is 0.9. So that just goes to show, like, if you can get suggested up, you'll be good. Oh, now you have your title and thumbnail finished. What I like to do and what I did with this client is actually getting feedback on people. So I use Thumbs Up TV for this, and essentially just match the best titles with the most effective thumbnails that you have, and then just ask your team, ask your friends, ask in a Discord, a Slack channel to get feedback on it. So then you can see what's good, what's not good, see what they would click on, etc. And then after you get that feedback, you can go iterate it more, revise it, and just keep doing that until you get the look that you want to achieve. And we did this with this client, the growth partner. We were in a Discord and getting feedback by some of the best thumbnail guys in the YouTube space. So that was definitely a great experience, and it was great to get game-changing and insightful feedback. So I definitely recommend this. The next thing I want to touch on is framing your content with a unique angle. A lot of people just think they have to do talking head videos, but that's just not the case. Framing is just giving the idea a specific direction. It obviously starts with making sure the video idea is something that you're actually passionate about and it's a good idea in general. And also something that your audience would care about is the mix that you really want to have. So the whole thing with it is like, you want to come up with your idea. You want to see how you want to frame that idea. Then you build your thumbnail, then your title with that, and then you kind of do your script, which I'm gonna tap into how you can write scripts, execute scripts, things of that nature without being a bot. But let's just focus on framing for now. So essentially, you want everything in your video to be resonating. You want it to be cohesive, so the viewer knows exactly what they're getting when they click on the video. So that's why you want to kind of do it in that process. But to add on to this, like the way that I see framing is just see how you can deliver your ideas in a unique way that's not only surface level, like I said, just talking head, but see how you can package them with great delivery. Like Hormozy is starting to do it more and more often, actually. This video had a physical blueprint board, and he actually like visually showed what his video was about on that board. For you, this could be like incorporating student interviews, having private call segments and throwing those in your videos. It could be you do a video where you're traveling, but it's not necessarily a vlog, right? You're just changing scenes multiple times. It doesn't need to be done all the time, but framing does help you stand out. It helps you be unique. Yeah, like I said, it could be having a private call segment with your client, but mixing it into your talking head video, tapping into those insights. I know Paul Daly does that actually. Or maybe you have an info business and you have some old call recordings, some old course recordings that you can tie into a video idea and kind of leverage those. So get creative. Content creation, once again, is an art. And if you do it right, that's how you get the bread. So now we are getting into, I guess, script writing, on-camera stuff, things of that nature. What is going to make people watch your actual videos? So packaging and framing, all that good stuff, ideation is important. But if your script doesn't match the video that your ICP clicked on, they will click off of it. So they must play off of each other, and I'll show you exactly how to do that. And scripts don't have to be, and in my opinion, shouldn't be done word for word. Um, I like to think of it. I like to think of it as like being human, but using the script as like a guideline on the content. Like I don't want anyone being a bot when recording their stuff. So you should be near word to word as possible, like for the hook, because the hook's the most important part of the video. So get into how we can actually make a killer hook. Well, to make a killer hook comes down to really 3 steps. First is hitting your target audience, leveraging your proof in the video, and just reassuring the click. So you could say, for example, this is just off the top of my head. If you're talking about an e-commerce video of how to go from 0 to 1 million in 1 year, you can say, last year I made over a blank amount of money in e-commerce. So boom, you immediately establish proof, you reassure the click of the title and thumbnail, and you mentioned e-commerce, so your target audience is hit. That's just off the fly, but for desired transformation, it's really just setting like a plan of the video. So you could be like, in this video, we're gonna cover blank, blank, and blank. Set an expectation of what will happen next. I typically don't like to always say in this video. Sometimes it can be like boring for me, but there's nothing wrong with it. But basically set what they're gonna learn, what will happen next, or what they will receive at the end of the video. So you, in this section, you're just exciting them for what's coming. Like, you're gonna learn this, you're gonna learn this, and if you say to the end, you're gonna learn this thing. That's an example. Last thing is stakes. So with the stakes, you're just giving them a reason to watch. So this is the promise of the video. So tell them what they're gonna get or learn or miss out on if they don't watch the whole thing. So this can really tie in with like what they'll receive at the end. Like, hey, if you want to make $1 million this year in e-commerce, this is not the video to miss. Or you can go with something like, I know you're tired of not hitting your e-commerce goals, so unless you want that to continue happening, this is not the video to miss. Basically giving them a reason to watch to the end, or there's many ways you can incorporate stakes. You could say, because in one of our case studies with this client, the growth partner, with our biggest case study video, a way that we incorporated stakes and gave them a reason to watch is that halfway through the interview, they hopped on a call with the student's billionaire mentor or millionaire mentor. So that gave people like, oh, halfway this interview, they're going to hop on another call and it's going to be really sick. So things like that just prompt people to watch to the end. So I've done my research on the best like entrepreneur channels, and the best hooks are less than 20 to 30 seconds in this education business space. So they use this structure, a similar structure, then they get straight into it. Another thing that you guys want to keep in mind is cut all the fluff, no jargon, no repetition, and no over explaining. Keep it as simple as possible. Use simple words, but use power words. So use strong language and make sure your hook is strong. Like, and I've done the hook writing stuff, like script writing stuff. I scripted this video in full. 81% of views are still watching after the 30-second mark, which is above typical. This is the best like retention he had on his channel, and you really love this script. It's on our website if you guys want to check that out. Above typical. Now we can get to more like script writing and the body stuff. I've also got results for this as well. I just want to show you guys that. But if you're doing a sit down video, you can either have it one way, like I'm doing this. I have a Loom or a Miro or a Google Doc or a Gamma Doc, and you're just running through a presentation, and you can read off of it sometimes you can't. And then second, you can actually be recording a talking head video with different topics. So in that case, if you're doing the first one, you just have to keep it entertaining and drawing the viewer, have energy, like don't be boring. For option 2 though, here's what we do with our clients to be able to make sure the video actually keeps retention. So essentially, you have to open loops with the audience. And I think of this as like side questing your viewer. So you do this by using questions, by using evidence, by telling stories, metaphors, or just sharing like a unique thought that comes to mind while you're doing whatever you're talking about. So you essentially have to lead your audience to mini payoffs that'll keep them engaged for the whole videos to learn something every new topic, which is why people will have like 3 parts to their videos or 5 parts. Because after one topic, you go to the next, and it's like you're kind of following them along. And the thing is that people can do that, but if you don't have your payoffs done correctly, if you don't structure how you're going to cover each topic, which I'm going to dive into, people are going to click off. So the main important thing that I can give you for this is like context first and then the lesson, and not the other way around. So, for example, I mean, if you watch Hormozy, he's really good at this, and he likes to tie in stories. I actually have an example here, but an example of like context first and lesson is a lot of people will be like, okay, let's say the video is here's how to get to $1 million in e-commerce next year. So he would get into the video and he would be like, step 1 of how to get to $1 million in e-com is blank. And he would just like reveal right away what it is, or like tell them right away what they're supposed to be doing, when it's supposed to be context. So you can conceptualize it where you can be like, okay, first thing that you need to do is blank. But it's not that simple. And here's why I'm telling you this. And then he goes into a story. And then you kind of side quest them. And then at the end, you kind of tell them actually why that is the lesson. So I'm going to show you guys a brief example. So this is how we kind of structure it. So first is the setup, second is attention, then third is resolution. So setup. Hormozy, he will bring up what he wants to talk about. So once again, doesn't mean that you can't bring up what you want to talk about. Bring it up, but don't give it all away. Second is the attention. So what he would do is he will start to tell a story on what he brought up to build tension on why you should care. And he will talk about the negatives of the situation and things of that nature. So basically just tension, like making it seem like all is going bad. And then the resolution, where you resolve the tension, is he tells you the lesson he learned, why you should adapt to what he's telling you, and it's basically he's giving you the lesson at the end and the context in the front, if that makes sense. It's really self-explanatory, but a lot of people, you guys are putting the lesson up front and the context over here, and it's screwing you up, because a lot of people know what they need to do, but in videos you have to kind of remind people of like why them not doing what you're telling them to do is hurting them. Like you have to hit their pains, which is why you bring in tension, and you don't just tell them, hey, you need to do this, because they probably know that. Tell them why them not doing that, they're missing out on money, perks, benefits, etc. So just hit those pains. Those same pains and desires that you get from the avatar, which is why it's like the base of the house, apply to your script writing. Like it's a no-brainer, honestly, and it's very, very effective. Essentially, it just comes down to open loops to side quest your viewer, make the audience care, and then have payoffs to every single point. So if you do that for, let's say you have 3 topics you want to hit in the video, you do that for all 3, you'll be good. On top of this though, one thing that you can do is have a big payoff, which is like something you can reference in the hook. But then throughout the video, you can be like, hey, stay around though, because at the end, I'm going to be revealing this thing or telling you this thing. Where the big payoff's like the best point in the video. This would be like your last point, what the viewer's been waiting for. And then that's the biggest thing they'll take away. After that, you can just like end the video. But throughout the video, like people will mess up because they'll have a big payoff. But throughout the video, they won't hint it at the viewer. So what you want to do is you want to hint that at the viewer. So you can say it in the hook. You don't have to say it in topic 1, but maybe you say it in topic 2, and then maybe you say it a little bit in topic 3. Like, throw it in that something is at the end so they know and so they can stay for it. Written high-performing scripts, but a bonus point that helps you a lot, obviously, is being good on camera, which is I'm going to touch on in this video of how you guys can do that. But if you can create huge reference points and simplify things by using examples or past stories, which is why Hormozy's content is so good, other people are just going to relate to you, and it makes your videos more enjoyable and more watchable. So I definitely recommend that highly. It's just a huge plus. Now, basically your video is almost done, but we got some things we got to cover. On top of call to actions, there's actually more that I'm touching on, but call to actions for cash. So if you want to give a call to action, please do it after you've given them some type of value, because you have to give to receive. It really does apply to all facets of life, and people will be like, oh, like and subscribe in the first second of the video. You haven't given them anything. But the best way to throw in like actual call to actions to your offer is to do it subtly. So hey, like by the way, this is the same thing I teach in my coaching program, but it's more in depth, and we have weekly calls to help you out. So if you're more interested, check the link below. Like it's not like a hard pitch. I like to hard pitch at the end of the video, but there's also another thing I like to do at the end of the video, which will have YouTube pushing more of your content, which I'll talk about. But having your main offer and lead magnet at the top of your description and also in the pinned comments helps a lot. People are obviously going to see it more clicks, more highly likely that they end up booking a call or buying your thing, right? So I wouldn't miss out on doing that every single video. But I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Giulia, the growth partner, already touched on, we have many more results, just added 2 pictures here, but yeah. So I do want to touch on like your on-camera presence, how you can actually be effective on camera if you're not using any video editing, but I want to touch on how to get higher watch time sessions. At the end of your video, I do think you should hard pitch, but you also want to link your audience to another video, and that's because YouTube will push your content if you have higher watch time sessions. Because the more someone watches your videos, it increases the watch time sessions, and then YouTube's going to push your content to that individual and others like that individual. So what you have to do is relate the 2 videos, so the video that they're watching and then the one that you want them to go watch. Second is make them curious on why they should go watch that next video. And then third, just ask them to click the little video screen when it pops up. So an example of this is, hey, now, everything I've told you is useless if you don't have this other thing solved. So go watch this video to learn how to solve that thing. So it relates to 2 videos. He says, that makes him curious because he says this video is useless if you don't know what's in that video. So he's like, damn, let me go watch that video. And then just asking them to click. So go watch this video to learn how. And as you can see, it obviously worked. Now we're getting into on-camera presence and why it matters. Like, a lot of you are making videos, and the people that are watching you are like this guy right here. They're just looking at you. They're bored. They're ready to click off. They're straight faced. So nobody likes boring. You may be quote unquote good at your craft. You may have good information to share, but at the end of the day, YouTube is still entertainment. Once again, this is why I think it's like an art. Even though your videos can be based on education or business, etc. So when you get on camera, you must be engaging. If you look at anybody, Alex Becker, Alex Hermosi, Ty Lopez, Iman, they're just good on camera. They're good at talking, tonality, being engaging, energy. So some people have this skill naturally, and others need to build it up. So you just have to ask yourself like where you are at with it, and just to kind of take action. So I think it's important that you can just get to know yourself. Like, is my tonality good? Am I switching my pitch when I'm speaking to bring curiosity into the conversation? Am I energetic? Am I being engaging? Am I able to tie in what I'm talking about to the ICP and audience while also like referencing things they might be able to relate to, or stories that'll keep them there for me over the value I'm just giving in the video, right? So, and once again, just ask yourself, like, are you boring? Like, at one point I was boring, but I'm trying to change things. So yeah, I think that's super, super important if you actually want to see success. And that's why people can make videos. Like, you see these videos right here. I was just about to get into this video production. Like, some people don't need editing. If you want to edit your videos, I'll touch on like how you can get good production and actually get things done right. Make sure you have like SOPs in place and things like that. But it comes down to good ideas, nailing your packaging, and being good on camera to retain the viewer. Like, especially if you're a business, B2B channel, or just education, like, you don't need that much. Look at Leo Moore, raw vids, Ben Bader, raw vids, David Hunter, he's crushing it right now. Raw vids. They're just all good on camera and engaging, so people are going to watch them. The content ideas are good, and they're clickable. So if you do want to get your content edited, I mean, I was a video editor for 2.5 years before really going off and going serious into the agency stuff. Worked with some huge creators, like I said, FaZe, Rug, Broadus, NRG, and some top like finance guys. So I'm not really gonna touch on this because it might not be that important. Just screenshot it, and you can apply this to like an SOP of what you can tell the editor that you're trying to hire. These are things that are super important. But like I said, I think it's important that you develop your own style, colors, fonts, and just stand out, man. Be different. But yeah, these are some of the videos we edited. Sebastian Georgiou, Rug, Esqueta, Teaching Men's Fashion, FaZe, Jacob Levinrad. Like, I've done the editing stuff, so I know what I'm talking about. You can just screenshot that. What content actually converts best to cash? And after working with this client, I was able to actually break that down, which is why all the insights I gave above truly come from this, but also my added like insights, because after working with them, I've been working with tons of other channels to help them grow. So first is directing people to a main YouTube VSL video. And you can do this by posting broad or niche content. And the 3 that I'm about to list right here, by the way, this is all on top of like your content funnel, like top of funnel, bottom of funnel, middle of funnel. You should still, of course, have that, but these are just like topics that work well. So redirect to main VSL through broad or niche videos. Second, case studies and student interviews. Like, they're the easiest videos to make, but they have the biggest return. They make the most cash. And we doubled down on this format a lot, and it worked a ton. We took inspiration from other type of interview videos. We just applied it to the business niche, and it led to more success with the videos. So I highly, highly recommend. If you guys want me to make a video breaking down how we did case studies to see success, let me know. Because even with Giulia, we closed $40,000 in 3 days making a case study video. Number 3, how-to/specific niche content. So this content can just push back traffic to the main VSL, but it also can push traffic to the case studies, which is more nurturing. It won't exactly close the sale, but it's still very, very important, and you need all 3 on here to create the funnel, which once again, you need the entire content funnel. Next, we have how to maximize your SEO when you post. And I want to say this also comes with some nuance, like tags, SEO. It won't magically just get you views. Once again, it just comes back to making good videos and using a system that works. There's videos that have no tags, no description, and can blow up. At the end of the day, it's just good videos equal views. But it can be useful if you want to target specific demographics, audiences, a specific niche. And I think it can help as far as like your content being evergreen, because YouTube is tied back to Google search. And it can help views compound over time, targeting that same type of like ICP, boost the engagement, build brand awareness, improve your conversions, etc. So tags and descriptions are important, but the main thing is definitely just focusing on making the video good, properly packaging it, positioning it, title, thumbnail, edits if you're going to get edits, or just having like good on-camera presence. So yeah, but firstly, I like to have the call to action to whatever your top of link, your main link is at the top of the description, or it could be a freebie to like collect, or it could be like a lead magnet freebie to collect emails. It could be a link to your VSL, and then they kind of book there, or you can even add like a playlist link to your case studies in the description as well. I like to keep like your main link first, and then everything else can kind of go under it. Or you can have the lead magnet link first. But when it comes to optimization for the description, I use a lot of keywords that I think the ICP would search up or discuss about. And I do the same thing with the tags and related to the topic. It's super, super simple. I don't really rely on vidIQ for tags. It's a solid tool that can help you out to find good tags and words to put in your description. But once again, it's not really that important. I wouldn't rely on it 100%. But it does allow you, like if you're a very beginner or like new to this, you can spy on other people's tags, and you can copy them and make it personalized to whatever video you're posting. So I have tags that we did for a Go Partner down here. But once again, you probably go, it's not complicated to do the tags. And if you need help, just let me know. But yeah, you can zoom in and kind of take a screenshot of this if you need it. You guys are probably wondering why I have all these other different platforms on here when I'm talking about YouTube. And that's because you need to maximize your leverage with YouTube. So on top of YouTube, we use 4 other forms of distribution to push these videos. And I want to touch on why the whole ecosystem with YouTube content just improves like not only the money coming through, but the actual like views and growth. So we use Twitter, LinkedIn, email newsletter, Instagram. And I'm not going to run through this whole list because this video is getting kind of long, but you guys can screenshot it and see what we did on each social media platform, where we basically just used the YouTube content that we were posting on YouTube long form, and we leveraged it on these platforms to be able to nurture more people, get more views, grow the audience. And once again, it is really, really effective. So if you're already posting on YouTube, find a way to get those videos, like read what I have here and find a way to get those videos onto these other platforms. So you guys can go ahead and screenshot this. I think it's highly, highly effective, and it works super well for us. So yeah, and you've made it this far, so why not just work with Content Cash Media, right? We will handle the entire content marketing process for you, A to Z: ideation, scripting, thumbnail strategy, video editing, posting, SEO optimization. We have a proven, repeatable system that works very, very well. And I give you a taste of it in this video. Matter of fact, not even a taste. This is basically our process, dumbed down a little bit so you can understand it. But we will just handle the whole thing for you, completely done for you, completely. So we develop one-of-one personal brands for entrepreneurs. We help them scale, monetize, and grow. So if you're interested in that, book a call below. Other than that, appreciate you watching. If you have any questions, let me know. If there's any videos you guys want me to make, also let me know. Other than that, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.